it's Carrie Flatla here for Friday Fire on Thursday at Remax Real Estate Lethbridge and carrieflatla.com. Let's talk about the present, because that is all we've got left to focus on, and that's all we can control in a pandemic. And I want to talk about that in the context of real estate first, but I want to weave in a bigger message here. So real estate was declared essential services a while ago now by the provincial government. And so that means a lot of things, but what you need to know is it means real estate transactions are still happening. So if you're thinking of buying or selling, we are still a functioning industry. Things just look a bit different. Now, some folks might be asking, why is anybody buying or selling a house right now, and is that even necessary? In fact, it is very necessary and would cause great hardship for a lot of folks who, before the pandemic had already put a home on the market, had already moved away. They have a vacant property that they must sell. If they don't sell it, it will create financial hardship. Many people, hundreds of people in Lethbridge would have had pending offers on a home or on their home when the pandemic became a thing in Alberta. We have to see those transactions through because, as I've talked about before, when you write an offer on a home or receive an offer on a home, you might get that offer accepted in writing with contingencies today, but the transaction will not close for 30 days or 60 days or 90 days away, or some variation of that. So we can't leave those people hanging in the balance. We have to make sure that we shepherd those transactions to their fruition at closing, and the homeowner gets paid and the buyer gets to move into the home that they've offered on. So real estate is this very complex machine that is always happening in the background in terms of transactions. So we have to keep that moving. We have a lot of people that still have to buy or sell a home. So yes, we're in a pandemic. Yes, oil, my understanding is Western Canadian Select went below $4 a barrel the other day. At some point, producers may actually be paying other people to take their oil away, sort of like negative interest rates. Like there's some pretty scary economic dynamics happening right now. We have nothing to compare this to. We had the blockades not that long ago. I think we're still going to see some impacts of that because rail transportation is a massive part of the economy in Canada. We are a rail-based economy in some regards because we're such a big country, low oil. And now with the pandemic, we have these massive stimulus packages being offered by both provincial and federal governments. And so someone's got to pay for that, and that's just going to have all kinds of economic consequences for generations to come. And in the right now, which I really want to talk about, in the here and now, we have people getting laid off, including in Lethbridge, which I realize our economy is very government based. I think 9 out of our 10 largest employers are public sector, but that does not mean that we are immune. And so there's a lot of forecasting going on about what's going to happen, and will this just be like a V-shaped recovery, and there'll be all this pent-up demand for housing and consumer goods and all of these things, and it'll just rocket back to life, because all of a sudden the government's just gonna lift the lockdown and everything will be normal again. And I just don't think that's going to happen. It just doesn't work like that. So we have people that have to buy or sell. We have people that are moving. We have people that have had dramatic changes in their personal life for whatever reason. We have all kinds of things happening, but people will always have to buy or sell real estate. Carmen and I have written 3 offers this week. So there are transactions happening. Some people just have to make a move for all kinds of personal or economic reasons. And that will never change, almost no matter what's happening in the economy. But how to get through this, you know, and kind of have our heads screwed on and make the best decisions. So here's what we can control is we can control how we do business. We can be safe in how we do business or try to mitigate risk. Realtors are doing a lot more things virtually. I don't think it's any secret, and I don't think it's any magic that we're offering virtual tours and more video with listing and marketing a property. And I hope that a lot of us have already been doing that for a long time. So that should not be magic, but it should be an important part of marketing a home right now. So, you know, if you look at our listings, you can see a 3D tour. It's very detailed. You can see the dust on the floor. You know, you can get a really good feel for the home, but at some point when you narrow down your short list, you're going to need to go and see that home. And then we have protocols in place for showing properties, making sure that buyers aren't touching everything. Don't bring your children to a showing, you know, all of these kinds of things. Some sellers, because they're compromised health-wise, maybe can't have showings for a while. You know, there's just lots of different things that we can do. But my main message is that we can only focus on the here and now. There is not a known plan by any government anywhere on the planet right now that involves certainty about the future. There just isn't. We cannot predict the future. A realtor cannot predict the future. An economist can't predict interest rates in normal times. And in a pandemic, nobody can predict how this is going to unfold. But what I'm saying to homeowners who have properties that they need to sell for different reasons, personal or economic reasons, is, you know, there's this idea that, well, let's just wait and see until things blow over, and then we'll adjust our strategy or a marketing strategy or the way we're pricing it, or we'll just wait. Let's just wait and see and just sort of sit back and hope for the best. Hope is not a strategy. Hope is good to have, but it is not a strategy for selling your home or buying a home. We have to have a plan. And in Lethbridge in particular, and I would have said this even before the pandemic, if you're waiting for things to change, I don't know when that's going to happen. Our market has been like this for years and years and years and years. We basically track inflation in terms of price appreciation, if we're lucky, on average. So, you know, to say, well, let's wait till the market comes back. And I used to hear that pre-pandemic too. Well, I can't get what I want. I can't get my price. And it is just your price. It's not the market price. I can't get my price for my house, so I'm going to wait. Or I'm going to put tenants in the house. Or I'm just going to sit on the house. Well, okay. So do the math and think about the emotional stress of carrying a property for many more months or years. And will it be worth more in a year, 6 months, 3 years, 5 years? Nobody knows. Nobody can predict that. What would it be worth to you to sell the house right now? Because right now is the only thing that we have any control over whatsoever. More so now than ever because of coronavirus. And that applies to life. What can you control today? Because we have no control over the past and we have no control over the future. But we can control how we market the home, how we promote the home, our pricing strategy, all of those things. We have some control over how we can get the house sold. And if you're a buyer, we have some control in terms of like, which houses would you like to look at? Is there things that we can do to research and understand the myriad properties you have to choose from before we narrow it down? So maybe you only have to look at 3 or 4 houses instead of 10 or 15. Again, we would have done that for you pre-pandemic, but it's more important now than ever. So we can control a lot of things. It's all about being informed, knowledgeable, keeping calm, and making smart decisions in the moment for what's happening right now. We can't predict the future. And so in some ways, what I'm saying is seize the moment and do the things that you can do now that will have the greatest impact on your life based on the things that you want in your life, your goals, and keeping your family healthy and safe and all of that. So the timing has to be right. For some people, selling a house right now is absolutely not realistic. I just talked to a client yesterday, and we've been working with them for quite a while, and the husband is immune compromised. Well, now is not a good time for them to list their home for personal reasons, even though they would like to. It would cause them, we talked about it, and it would cause them too much personal stress to have people in their home and be concerned about the husband possibly catching corona, and that would do them in. Like, it's just not a responsible thing to do. For other people, it is the right time for them to list their house. It's based on a case-by-case basis, but what you need to know is that real estate is still happening. It's just, it looks a bit different. And the things you have to factor in to your decisions are different. And that's where we come in and we can provide advice based on your specific needs and your personal situation and where you need to go and when you need to get there. But, you know, I always think about that book, that Dr. Seuss book, Oh, the Places You'll Go. And we used to read it to our sons when they were very little, like from the time they were babies. We used to read that book. And what I loved about that book was the section where you open it up, and on both pages, it shows a whole bunch of people standing around waiting. I think it's called The Waiting Place, and everybody's waiting for something else to happen before they get on with their life. So they've essentially put their life in the hands of some external decision or person or place or thing that they have no control of. And I see that sometimes in real estate. Well, I'm just going to wait for this other thing to happen, or I'm going to wait for the economy to come back, or I'm going to wait for coronavirus to be over. Well, it's not going to be over for a long, long time because we don't have a vaccine. Like, that's just a fact. And we can't predict how this is going to unfold. You know, I'm waiting for all of these things, and then I'll make a decision. But that causes great pain for people to be in that place of limbo, because human beings have free will and they want to feel like they can have an impact on their own life and positive impact on their family's life. So all we got is the present, and that's why it's a gift. And that's my message for One Day Early Friday Fire. Thought I'd seize the moment and share that with you. If you have any questions about your personal real estate decisions, whether you're thinking of buying or selling, we are more than happy to work with you. Whether you're wanting to do something tomorrow or 6 months or 12 months from now, give us a call and we can start working on a plan. Carrie Flatland Associates, Remax Real Estate, Lethbridge, 382-7335. That is my cell phone. Have a terrific day. The sun is shining. Get some fresh air and stay safe. Take care. Bye-bye.